So by now you should have a pretty firm grasp on the 5 pentatonic shapes, the 5 boxes. And if you haven't seen my 5 pentatonic box video, be sure to check that out up there. I'm going to be referencing those shapes and the way that I think about those shapes in this video. So it's important to kind of watch through and know what I'm talking about, even if you're already pretty familiar with the pentatonic scale. So if you know those 5 boxes, we kind of have 5 chunks on the fretboard where we feel pretty comfortable with being able to play through them and maybe even applying them to solos. But we want to be able to get in and out of those boxes. So I would consider that there's 2 really important connecting shapes. There might be more, but these are the 2 that I teach my students, and these are the 2 that I most commonly use. So they're going to be the 2 that we're going to talk about today. What I really like about these 2 connecting shapes is that they're really similar. They both only use index and ring finger, and in both of them we're going to have 2 slides and 1 shift. So let's start on the first connecting shape. So like I said, entirely index and ring. Now if you can memorize where these slides happen in both of these shapes, this should be pretty easy for you. So with the first shape, we're going to start kind of in the 5th pentatonic box. So my index finger is going to start on the 3rd fret of the low E string. And like the pentatonic box video that I referenced earlier, these are both going to be in the key of A minor and C major. So I'm starting in my 5th box. My index finger is going to be on the 3rd fret of the low E string. So this is 1 fret down from the really comfortable shape that everyone knows. And when that shift happens in the 5th box, we're actually going to hit that note with a slide. So our 2 slides for this one are going to be on the A string and the G string, and the shift for both of them is always going to happen from the G to B, and on the way back down it'll happen from B to G. So check this out. We've got 1 3, 1 3, slide up 2 frets. So that's hitting this note right here. And now we're in our first pentatonic shape. So now we're going to play 1 3 again, 1 3 again, and we're going to slide on the G string, always 2 frets. And then we're going to shift our index finger where it would typically land on the 7th fret. We're going to move it up to the 8th fret and play 1 3 and 1 3 on the E string. Back down, we've got 3 1 3 1. We're going to shift our ring finger down 1 fret and slide it, and then move to our index finger, ring index, ring, slide, index, ring, and index. So again, up and back down. So that covered the 5th box. It jumps into the 1st box. And then with this slide, we're playing the last 2. So there I'm playing middle and pinky to stay in the shape of our 2nd pentatonic box. So that one looks like this. Sliding back down into our 1st box, and then sliding down into our 5th box. So I just covered the span of 5, 1, and 2. My slides are going to happen on the D and the B string, and the shift again happens from G to B on the way up and B to G on the way down. So let's go through it. We're going to start in our 3rd pentatonic box, and we're going to play the first 3 strings out of that pentatonic box, and then we're going to shift our ring finger up because we hit the D string, always shifting 2 frets. we're gonna play index and ring on the G string, and then we're gonna shift up to the B string 1 fret. So rather than putting my index finger on the 12, I'm gonna put it on the 13, play index ring, slide up 2 frets because we hit the B string, and then index and ring on the high E string. So we started in the 3rd box. I'm gonna slide into the 4th box, play 2 strings in the 4th box. Now remember, in the 4th box, we have this little shift where we typically grab our middle finger on the 13th fret. I'm gonna grab my index finger, and we're just playing those same 2 notes in that 4th box, but we're playing them with our index and ring now. And then I'm gonna slide into the 5th box. So remember that 5th box looks like this. So we're finishing out in our 5th box with index and ring on the 15th and 17th fret of the B and E string. One more time through that whole shape, going up and then back down. And again, remember, I've got 2 slides. In this case, they happen on the D and B string, and I've got 1 shift, which happens from G to B always, or B to G if you're going back down. So if you can memorize the fact that the connecting shapes have 2 slides and 1 shift, and you know where the slides and shift happen, now, like I said, your fingers are on autopilot. You're just doing 1 and 3 the whole time. And now we can get in and out of all 5 pentatonic shapes. So it's a super helpful skill to have. So now that you know how to play the pentatonic boxes, and now that you know how to connect them with the connecting shapes, definitely be sure to check out my video where we relate all of this stuff to different keys. For the video, we were in the key of A minor or C major, but we want to know how to apply them to every key at a moment's notice. So check that out up there. If you found this video to be helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in more videos pertaining to guitar-related theory, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for sticking around.